Here at Gregg's, we take safety seriously.
Here at Gregg Distributors.
Dang it!
Think we have any samples of?
Well, most of the time. That's why today's topic is the whip check and how it can keep you and your equipment safe. I'm Danny, and I'm one of the salesmen here at Gregg's. And I want to welcome you back to another episode of Gear Up with Gregg's. We're gonna whip it good. If a coupler connection on an air hose fails, it could result in property damage, injury, or even death. That's why restraints, such as whip checks, are often used to reduce the movement of an air hose in the event of a hose, coupler, or fitting failure. A whip check is a steel cable with loops on each end. These loops are positioned on both sides of a hose connection to keep the hose from moving if the connection fails. It's important to be sure to keep the loops a few inches behind the fittings, not on them, as the typical failure point in a hose system is behind the fitting itself. This means that if your whip check is attached to the fittings and the hose fails, the hose will start whipping. But the only way to ensure that you are protected is with proper installation. Now, most of the time in our market, we see these attached to air compressors on service trucks, but they can also be used as a safety measure when attaching two air hoses together. To start, pull back on the spring-loaded loop and slide the opening around the end of your hose. Do the same with the other end of the whip check and connect your hose or hoses appropriately. Then, slide the whip check over the now connected hoses. At this point, you will have a U-shaped bend in the whip check. Before completing the installation, you must minimize the amount of slack in the cable as much as possible. Otherwise, your whip check won't be doing its job. Move each side of the whip check an equal distance from the fitting until the whole thing lies flat against the hose. If you notice an excessive difference, you'll need to adjust the fit. Whip checks are recommended for lower pressure air systems with a PSI of about 200. At this level, they're designed with a 5-to-1 safety margin, which means they have been tested at 1000 PSI. However, this doesn't mean you should push these upper limits. At 300 PSI, this safety margin drops down to 3-to-1. These safety cables are great for applications in environments with lots of moisture, since they're highly resistant to rust and corrosion. So if you work outdoors or in a shop that regularly uses your air tools outside, you can rest easy knowing that the whip check will keep you safe. We have these whip checks in stock that will accommodate anything from a 1/2 inch to a 5-inch hose. And if you're not sure which whip check would work best for you, or if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. Or you can visit our website at greggdistributors.ca. Again, I'm Danny. Thank you for watching another episode of Gear Up with Gregg's, and have a great Canadian day.